Welcome to 21st Sports Recap and Reaction for the San Francisco 49ers at the Chicago Bears in their Week 13 matchup played December 6, 2015. We're going to go over the scores and the stats to give our breakdown and analysis. And starting off in this game, with about 10 minutes left in the first quarter, Robbie Gould put the first points on the scoreboard with a 40-yard field goal that made it 3-0 Chicago. Then with about 6 minutes still left in the first, Gould added a 51-yard field goal, and it was 6-0 Bears over the Niners. But then with less than 3 minutes still left in the first, Jimmie Ward picks off Jay Cutler and runs it back 29 yards for the touchdown and the pick six. And now with the missed extra point, it was 6-6, Niners and the Bears. So that would do it for the first quarter. And then less than 2 minutes into the second, Matt Forte scored on a 5-yard touchdown run. Gould added the extra point, and it was 13-6 as the Bears went up by 7 with about 13.5 minutes left before halftime. Then with less than 7 minutes left in the first half, Shaun Draughscored scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. Phil Dawson added the extra point, and this game was tied once again, this time at 13 apiece. So that was it for the first half. It was scoreless through the third, and in the fourth quarter, with 3.5 minutes left to play, Carey scored on a 4-yard touchdown run. Gould added the extra point, and the Bears were up 20-13. The Niners would get the ball, and they marched down the field in less than 2 minutes, going 64 yards in 6 plays. And Blaine Gabbert, doing his best Colin Kaepernick impersonation, running 44 yards for the touchdown. Phil Dawson had the extra point, and this game was tied at 20 apiece with less than 2 minutes left to play. So now the 49ers would kick off to the Bears, and Thompson ran it back 74 yards. It almost looked like he was going to take it to the house, but he ended up down at the 28, and so now the Bears were already in field goal range, so it looked like they were going to win this one with a walk-off field goal with just over a minute and a half left to play. So they would force the Niners to take their last 3 timeouts as they ran the ball on first down, and they ran again on second down, both times no gain, but on 3rd and 10, Carey picked up 11 yards in the first down, and that's when the Niners burned their final timeout. So now it was a 1st and 10 on the 17. They were right there in the red zone. Carey would then position the ball, and then Cutler would, on second down, lose a yard just to make sure they had it just right as they set it up for Robbie Gould to come out to attempt a 36-yard field goal on the final play of regulation for the win, but it was no good. So it was wide left, and Gould misses the game winner, and we're headed to overtime. So the Niners would get the ball first, and they had it on their own 40 after a 40-yard return on the kickoff by Ellington, but they ended up with an incomplete pass on first down, an incomplete pass on second down, and an incomplete pass on third down, and out came the punting unit as the Bears held them to a 3-and-out. So now Chicago took over on their own 15, backed up against their own end zone, and a holding penalty moved them back even further as they were pushed back to the 8, and then faced on 2nd and 17 from the 8. Cutler hit Forte, picked up 9. So now 3rd and 8, and an incomplete pass would bring out the punting unit as the Bears would go 3-and-out as well. So now it was next score wins. At this point, true sudden death overtime. A 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 29 after the punt. And on the first play of this possession, Blaine Gabbert drops back and he hits Torrey Smith and he goes 71 yards for the touchdown. And the Niners win with the walk-off 26-20 as they beat the Bears in Chicago. And the Bears are now 5-7 with a loss. The Niners are now 4-8 on the season. It's their first road victory of 2015. They're 1-5 on the road. The Bears are 1-5 at home as they've only won 1 game at home in Illinois. But with the game, of course, both these teams didn't really have anything going towards the playoffs. So the Bears had an outside shot. This puts a damper on that. as they're even further out looking in, is they're going to need a lot of teams to lose, and they're going to have to win out for any kind of chance. But so they're pretty much done with this loss against San Francisco. But Blaine Gabbert gets that score at the end in overtime. That was almost half of his passing yards. He was 18 for 32, 196 passing yards. That one touchdown, the game winner, and that's the one that counted the most. He was actually the leading rusher for San Francisco with 6 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. It was a 44-yard run. It was more than half of that. Shaun Draughscored only had 13 carries for 36 yards. He did have a touchdown. And Torrey Smith had 2 receptions for 76 yards, including the 71-yard touchdown. And Shaun Draughscored had 5 receptions for 50 yards, which gave him 86 total yards on the game. And Quentin Bolden with 5 receptions for 37 yards. And for the Bears, Jay Cutler, 18 of 31, 202 passing yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Matt Forte had 21 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown. Forte also had 5 receptions for 39 yards in this game, which gave him 121 yards total. And Alshon Jeffrey, 4 receptions for 85 yards. Jeremy Langford had 12 carries for 59 yards and 2 receptions for 9 yards, which gave him 68 yards in this game. And for the kickers in this game, Phil Dawson, 2 for 3 on the extra points, did not attempt a field goal. Robbie Gould, 2 for 4 on the field goals, 2 for 2 on the extra points. Of course, he missed the chance to win the game there on the final play of regulation. Navarro Bowman, 13 tackles for Bowman. And Tart had a sack for San Francisco. Ward had an interception. Of course, he ran that back for the pick 6. And for the Bears, Goldman had 2 sacks. Young had 1.5 sacks, and Jenkins had a half sack. Look at the team stats. Chicago, 20 first downs, 13 first downs for San Francisco. And on third down, the Bears, 8 for 17, 47% conversion rate. San Francisco, 7 of 16, 43% conversion rate. Total net yards, 364 for the Bears, 291 for the Niners. And on the ground, the Bears netted 170, San Francisco netted 121. And through the air, the Bears netted 194. Cutler sacked once for a loss of 8 yards. San Francisco netting 170 through the air. Gabbert sacked 4 times, losing a total of 26 yards. Penalties in this game hurt the Bears. 8 penalties for 72 yards. 6 penalties against the Niners for 50 yards. The Bears had 1 fumble, but they recovered it. And in the red zone, Chicago 2 for 3, 66%. San Francisco 1 for 1, 100%. And time of possession, 37 minutes, 24 seconds for the Bears, 24 minutes, 46 seconds for the Niners. And this was a game that it looked like the Bears were going to pull this one off, as they seemed to do what they needed to win. But Blaine Gabbert coming up huge with those 2 touchdowns, the 1 touchdown in the final 2 minutes to tie the game and send it over that time with that 44-yard touchdown run. And then he comes up big in overtime with that 71-yard touchdown pass. Those 2 plays really made his day, as that really made the game. And that's how the Niners won this one, is they really stole a win in Chicago, coming up big time. And Gabbert, jury's still out on him. I don't know if 2 plays really makes a career, but it did win the game here on Sunday in Week 13. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend and enjoyed all the sports.